Okay, welcome to another deep dive, everybody. Today we're going deep on The Stranger Beside Me. Have you ever heard of this one?
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, and it's about,
Ted Bundy,
yeah, Ted Bundy.
of course.
So I mean,
Infamous.
everybody knows Ted Bundy.
Right.
Um, but this book is different because it's written by,
Someone who knew him.
yeah, his friend
Yeah.
Anne Rule. So she,
And not just like a casual acquaintance.
Right.
Like they worked together.
yeah, they worked at
He volunteered, I should say.
they volunteered at a crisis hotline.
Right. A suicide prevention hotline in Seattle.
And so she knew him
Yeah.
before all this stuff came out.
And she even consulted with him
Like,
in her work as a crime reporter.
so it's like she went to him for advice.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, what do you think about this?"
Right. Why do you think that these women are going missing?
And he's like, "Well, I don't know."
Right. And giving her, presumably bogus advice.
So
The whole time knowing that,
yeah, knowing that he was doing it,
he was the one doing it.
crazy. I mean, just the beginning of the book when,
Yeah. It really draws you in.
yeah, and she talks about how she met him and what he was like, and
Right.
just a charming guy.
Yeah, and so normal, so
Well, yeah, just
so seemingly kind and
Yeah.
empathetic and just
Mhm.
totally throws you off.
Yeah, so you read that and you're like, there's no way this guy
Right.
could be a serial killer.
Yeah.
But he was really good at it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the crimes a little bit.
Okay.
What did he do?
So, his MO was to target young women,
Yeah.
often college-aged,
Yeah.
appealing to their empathy.
Right. Yeah.
Like you said, he would pretend to be injured or need help.
Yeah, yeah, like his arm was in a sling.
Right.
Or he was on crutches, and he'd be like,
Could you help me carry these books to my car?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. And they're like, "Oh, sure." And then it's the last anyone saw them.
Right.
Yeah, so creepy.
And it's interesting because, it wasn't just about like a
Yeah.
random act of violence.
Right.
There was this element of control.
Yeah.
He would sometimes return to the
To bodies.
to the crime scenes, yeah. And apply makeup to the victims or wash their hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It's like this really disturbing need to maintain this
Yeah.
twisted sense of order even in death.
Right, like he wanted them to look a certain way,
Yeah, exactly.
even though he had killed them.
Yeah.
So messed up.
Yeah. And what's really striking is just how this contrasts with how he presented himself in everyday life.
Right, yeah.
It
He
just-
just seemed like such a normal dude.
Yeah.
Like so friendly, so charming. And she even says in the book
Right.
that he was really good at giving advice, like at the hotline.
Yeah, he was empathetic.
Right, he was great at talking people down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just like a total juxtaposition between this
Right.
like really dark side and then this like normal
Yeah.
outward appearance.
It really makes you question your own judgments about people.
Right, like could you be friends with somebody
Yeah.
and not know that they were a serial killer?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so creepy.
And that's really at the heart of what Anne Rule is wrestling with in the book, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's not just reporting on the facts of the case.
Right.
She's also trying to process this unbelievable betrayal.
Yeah, I mean this grief.
Yeah, to be friends with somebody and find out. Like,
Yeah.
she was closer to him than a lot of the investigators were.
Right.
And so it's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
And she even quotes from her own letters to him in the book,
Right, yeah, yeah.
where she's expressing her disbelief.
Yeah.
Like she writes, "I keep thinking of you, Ted, and I want to believe in your innocence so very much."
Yeah, and this was after, they knew he was guilty at that point. Yeah, the evidence was mounting,
Yeah.
but she still held on to this image of him.
Yeah, I mean, that's how good he was at
Right.
deceiving people.
Exactly.
And then, even when he was on trial,
Multiple trials.
Yeah.
Escapes.
yeah, he even escaped from jail a couple times.
Twice.
Like, how do you
Yeah.
escape from jail?
I know, it's crazy.
But he even acted as his own defense attorney.
Right.
Like,
He was that confident.
yeah, he was that confident in his,
In his abilities.
yeah, and his intelligence.
Yeah, really smart guy.
Yeah. Which makes it all the more scary, right?
Right?
I mean, if he wasn't that smart, he probably wouldn't have gotten away with it for so long.
That's true.
So, I mean, what can we take away from all of this?
I think one of the biggest things is that appearances can be deceiving. Right? Like, you can't always judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, and I think it also just makes you realize that evil can lurk anywhere.
Exactly.
Like, it's not always...
It's not always the creepy guy in the alley.
Right, yeah.
It could be the charming guy next door.
Right, the guy you're working with, the guy you're volunteering with.
Exactly. It really forces you to confront some uncomfortable truths about human nature.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I think it also just makes you think about how we form our judgments about people and how easily those can be manipulated.
Yeah.
You know, like, what biases do we have that might blind us to someone's true nature?
Right.
And how do we protect ourselves from being deceived?
Right.
Without becoming completely distrustful of everyone.
Yeah, because you don't want to go through life like that.
Right.
But you also don't want to be...
Naive.
Yeah, naive and end up,
right.
You know, in a bad situation.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
Yeah, it is. So I think that's one of the things that Anne Rule was trying to get across in the book.
Right. She really wanted to explore those questions.
Yeah, and she does a really good job of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And she also talks about how, you know, even after all of this, she still struggles with
her feelings about Ted.
Yeah, like how can someone be
so charming
and so evil at the same time?
Right. Like, how do those two things coexist?
Yeah, and it's something that she never really found an answer to.
Right.
But I think that's also one of the things that makes the book so compelling.
Yeah.
Because it leaves you with these
unanswered questions.
Yeah, these unanswered questions that you just keep thinking about.
Right. It really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
So, and it stays with you long after you finish reading it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're interested in this case at all, I would highly recommend checking out The Stranger Beside Me.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I think, important book to read.
Yeah.
Because it forces us to confront some really difficult truths.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
About ourselves and about the world around us.
So there you have it. That is our deep dive on
The Stranger Beside Me.
The Stranger Beside Me. So it's like this one. Be sure to check out some of our other deep dives. We got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, we do.
So, yeah, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.